Hi, I'm Dino Tripodis. This is Whiskey Business, and tonight, self-esteem on the program. Not only claiming it, but maintaining it. Also, the Battle of the Bulge. Not the war, the weight. And if something doesn't kill you, does it really make you stronger? Yeah, it's a very emotional mash bill of sorts tonight on Whiskey Business. Isn't it interesting what happens to you as a child when you're growing up? How that lingers and unconsciously, whether you realize it or not, stays with you as an adult. I'll explain and be a little more specific, if you will. Growing up as a child, I had a horrible, terrible inferiority complex growing up as a kid. Where did it start? It probably started with my parents. I was a sick child growing up, and having a very strong Greek father, I'm sure, I know for a fact he was disappointed that he had a sick kid growing up. He never said it, but he showed it in how he treated me or how he didn't treat me from time to time. And also as a result of being a sick kid, a very overprotective mother as well growing up. And then that just kind of continued to segue into an overbearing and domineering grandmother who I could never do anything right for. But it's interesting, all that happened as a kid. And yet, some of those things stayed with me as a teenager and as a young adult. And as a 60-year-old man talking to you tonight, still stays with me in a lot of different ways. I'm fascinated by the fact that some of the things that I do that other people say are great, I think are crap. What is that? Is that low self-esteem? Is that the inferiority complex coming to fruition and actually, being the demon that it is and raising its own personal hell? I don't know, but self-esteem goes and covers a lot of different aspects in your life. It can determine how successful you are in life. It can determine how healthy you are in life. It can determine a lot of things that plague you on a daily basis in life. And that'll be just one of the many things that we get into tonight in what I call a very emotional mash bill of sorts on Whiskey Business. Hi, I'm Dino Tripodis, and welcome to Whiskey Business, the podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey. Along with me, of course, the amazing audio producer, Greg Hansberry, who's off to the side tonight because we have two special guests. And, of course, if he'll flip the camera around on the video side of things, doing the amazing job that he does each and every week on YouTube, John Whitney. The crowd goes crazy. And our guests tonight are Gus Flichia and Ashley Barnhart, who we'll introduce here more officially in just a moment. But before we get to the guest bottle, Hansberry, some social media things we should take care of.
That's right. Remember to subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, whether that's iTunes or TuneIn or whatever, and rate and review us, because that always helps. The grassroots effort, too. If you have some friends who you think might like this topic or like spooky stories, maybe you can share Ralphie's story from last week. But just spread the word, and that actually goes a long way for us here. We're on all your favorite social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, WhiskeyBusinessShow.com, and, of course, YouTube. Johnny, we just talked about here, your videotapes all this, Whiskey Business with Dino Tripodis. And you can watch kind of there. It's the unedited raw.
It is the raw stuff.
Scene, yeah.
Hansberry, you edit the audio a little bit,
Yeah.
not much. As we said before, you usually edit the stuff.
Well,
that,
audit, I guess, is probably
that
well,
that
me
you don't
being
want
me
heard.
being a jackass, I normally cut out.
Yeah.
Yes.
And but it's fun to watch the YouTube stuff as well. I always watch and listen to both to hear, and I get something different out of each of them. So whatever you want, folks. But
There
yeah,
you go.
cool. Do it. So
That's it.
is that it for the social media?
Yeah, and then we remind everybody about the details on the premise, please, because we
The
have
premise
another
is
premise coming up.
on October the 22nd, back at Shadowbox Live on the upfront stage, 8 p.m. a Tuesday night, $10 a ticket, and it's going to be another great competition between Jeff Gage, who's returning to maintain his crown. He won when he was there the
That's
last
right,
time.
yeah.
Mike Larson, who was a guest panelist, wants to compete. He's going up against Jeff Gage, and the very funny Bobby Dodds will be making his first appearance.
And I like how
on the premise as
the
well.
the premise is going to be a little more challenging this time
It is.
because you got these
It is.
pro
It
comedic
is.
writers. So
And
you're
did
gonna
I pour
challenge
you?
them
I
a little
poured
bit,
everybody
Jeff.
else, Hansberry. Did I pour you any of the
I'm
guest,
waiting.
the
It's
guest
all right.
bottle?
It's all right.
All right,
I knew
no.
I'm being patient. My time will come.
Here, give him this one. Give him that one. Yeah.
Give me the hefty pour.
I want to drink. No, it's not the hefty pour. I just want to drink out of these Glencairn
right.
glasses.
Well, cheers.
These are lovely. Yes, our guests are Gus Flichia and Ashley Barnhart from. I keep wanting to say super moms, but it's
That's
strong.
fine. I'll
strong
take it.
moms, strong moms. But the guest bottle, as Gus knows, that we always introduce first, was actually brought to us by our guest.
Yes.
Gus brought this. Also, you know,
Before
I talk about the guest bottle,
this is gonna be
before I talk
good.
about the guest bottle, here's one reason why we need to have more generous women on the show. All right? Ashley brought us this.
Well,
Look at this.
We need snacks.
What's in here?
You
There's
know.
all kind of goodies in here.
And cigars.
And cigars.
You know, we gotta love on Tinderbox, right?
Yeah. We got my buddy Steve from
Yeah.
Bourbon and BS hooked you
Yeah.
up with the cigars, and there's all kinds.
But you have to open the box though.
Which box?
This is because this is
This one?
This is a little special thing. Yeah. I mean, the
I
cigars
know
are
what
nice
this
too.
is.
No, you don't.
I don't know what this
No,
is.
you don't. You think you know what it is.
Well, I recognize the box
no,
because you just got.
You think you know
got
it. No, open it up.
But you got this handed to you recently.
Dino,
Did you not?
Dino.
Am I right about the box?
the box,
Am I
yes.
the box
But
is
you don't know
familiar.
what's inside the
Well,
box.
I can only assume what's inside.
No, well, you're assuming wrong. Assuming?
It's like you guys know each other.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
We spent
God.
way too much time.
Oh, see?
Losing
Yeah.
with Gus. Hashtag losing with Gus.
Hashtag.
It's a water bottle.
Strongmom.us. We're going to tell you all about this tonight in the podcast. This has an explanation
Yes.
all of its own. Consider this a little tease as to what's coming up. This is mine to keep?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, it's
Cool, cool,
yours.
cool.
That's not. It's not for whiskey. It's actually for water. Because I think we
You
can.
know, you have no say in that.
Okay, so
You have-
what
That's
you
right.
realize.
She has no
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
she
yeah.
has no say in that.
I think
You're not
we-
our mother.
No, I am not. Thank God. But I think we go our whole lives. We're like kids, and we think that coffee is a grown-up drink, and then we think alcohol is a grown-up drink. Then we realize that as adults, water is the grown-up drink.
Water is
right?
it, yeah,
It's
it
really
is a
not
grown-up.
alcohol.
But
when
thank
you
you.
mix it with
Oh.
bourbon.
This
Thank
was
you for
very
having
kind of you.
us.
This is very kind of you, and we don't expect
we
it.
will totally be eating this tonight.
Okay,
by the
cool.
way, so
We never expect gifts from our guests, but we certainly encourage
Well.
it.
hint, 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 hint.
As was this guest bottle. This is Whistlepig. Whistlepig, the Boss Hog, straight rye whiskey, the third edition, the Independent. Okay? Now, there's a lot of Whistlepigs out there, but this one's a little bit special. This is a straight rye whiskey. This was the first rye finished in hogshead barrels in Scotland,
Oh, yeah?
in Scottish barrels. It's the first one that's ever been done that
When
way.
did we get to drink it?
250-liter Scotch casks that this rye was finished in, and only 30 barrels of
That's
this
pretty
were
special.
produced.
That's not
For this,
very many.
No, 30 barrels of this particular whiskey. So that makes it very rare.
and it's
and-
how many years old is it?
It's a 14-year-old rye. It's 118.8 proof. This one's actually a little lower than what it normally proofs out at. 120 to 122 is what it usually proofs out at. But yeah, this is a very hard to get bottle and not cheap. You said that you bid on this at a charity event.
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did. Can I
I
ask?
was down in Texas, and my daughter took me to a charity event, and it was one of the items on the silent auction, and I put my little number down, and it got beat a couple times. I did it again, and I won.
And what did you bid on
I'm
this?
not going to tell
You
you.
know, when it's for charity, right? You just kind of.
So if I tell you what this
What is it
this,
worth?
what
I
this-
have not a clue.
This retails between $300 and $350 a bottle.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
No idea. I got a bargain.
You got a bargain?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did. Good
Yeah.
for you. All
Yeah.
right. So if you
Tell me about the cap. What'd you say about
the
the
cap, so you didn't even realize that the cap. This is pure pewter.
Oh, really?
It's that's part of.
So after we drink this, I get the bottle back, right?
Sure. You get the bottle back and the cap. It's a Danforth pewter, Thomas Danforth II.
Wow.
This is his pewter. He started a little pewter factory, if you will, back in 1755 in Colonial, Connecticut.
Oh,
Only you would know that.
that's
And,
really
yeah.
important information.
It is important information. So now, before we actually start talking and getting into
we
some
taste
of
Let's
these,
do
we're going
it.
to taste it. We're going to
I've already
taste
been smelling
the
it.
Whistlepig.
All right, here we
And
go.
I don't know if I trust
Cheers.
Hansberry's
Cheers.
nose that's developed over the years, but
Yes.
welcome to Whiskey
Cheers,
Business,
cheers,
guys.
cheers,
I look
cheers.
forward to a
Salud.
very, very exciting conversation about
Yes,
a lot of different
cheers,
things tonight.
cheers,
We're going to get
cheers.
into it big time, but let's
Wow.
try the Whistlepig. Now, this is at 118 proof. Aren't you
What's
amazed
the
at how
secret?
smooth it is?
It's very smooth.
Oh my!
Now, you don't normally drink whiskey.
I'm more. I'm single malt Scotch girl.
Single malt Scotch girl.
Yeah.
We've had some
Scot in me.
scotches on the show.
I thought you were
Not
more
a lot.
champagne.
Yeah.
Oh, if I'm drinking just drinking, I go sparkly. But if I'm gonna drink something,
So if we're looking at
Serious.
calories, what do you go for?
alcohol.
Alcohol.
Just generally speaking, alcohol has 9 calories per gram. That's
Well,
why
you
it
have
makes
a
me fat.
little bit of.
I have a
shit.
little baby
That's not going to
champs.
cut
No,
it.
it's not.
Hansberry, could you go to the refrigerator, please? And I think we might have something
What is that there?
more suitable. This is a little Corbel, little baby bottle of Corbel, but a little bird told me that you have a birthday coming
I do.
up.
I'm turning 22.
Yeah, all right. Wrong one.
I'll take
Back to the refrigerator
I'll
you
take
go.
that.
The one that's in the box. I knew he'd get it wrong.
Well, I'm just happy to be here. So
The
add an
one that's
alcohol.
got a fancy French name on it.
Oh my!
What did you get?
Huh?
What did you get?
I did not get anything. We collectively got you. You got it?
Oh,
You see it?
guys?
You see it? No.
Oh
no,
my gosh!
no, that-
This is hilarious.
Yes.
Oh, it's for your birthday.
Oh my gosh! This
Look at
is my
that.
favorite. No, you don't understand. I feel like I just won Miss America.
Yeah.
Okay.
That.
It's been great.
Yeah, it's
being
been
here.
good.
Thank you for having me. I'm gonna go home and.
Oh no,
my
no,
bottle.
you're
No?
gonna drink
No?
up and we're
Oh,
gonna
hell
talk.
Yes, I am.
So we're gonna open this?
Amazing. Yes.
How do you pronounce that?
Perrier. I don't know. I don't speak French. It's French, y'all.
Is it Perrier Jouet?
I'm a southerner.
I'm not a big
This
champagne
is a really
guy.
no. This is a great bottle.
It
Well,
This is what we had the other day at
is?
lunch.
Yeah, that's true.
the bottle, obviously, somebody knows you better than we do here at Whiskey
Maybe.
Business. Was
Gus is my neighborhood boyfriend, if anyone.
selected.
We're in cahoots.
by
Well,
Mr.
it's your
Flichia.
birthday. This is your birthday present. Matter of fact, I was thinking about getting a cake, but the cake didn't make it, so.
Oh, Gus.
Yeah,
got a bottle.
because given what we're going to talk about, it was
Cake
probably
w-
going to be gluten
Even the
free.
bottle? Oh,
Was
no,
it going
I
to
don't
be
do-
gluten
I do
free?
gluten.
They do gluten.
I
Thank
do
God.
gluten. I
I'm
do
so
gluten
sick
and
of
dairy
gluten
and-
free. I
and
love
bacon
love
and-
gluten. I insist upon
You know
more
what?
gluten.
I'm
I
not
need
afraid
gluten.
of the gluten.
I'm not afraid of gluten. In fact, I
Hell
insist
no,
upon
I'm not.
gluten
No,
in all
this
my
is
products.
amazing.
Do you want me to open it?
Yes, please.
Sure, let's do that.
Okay, let's not put an eye
Oh,
out.
I feel so
That'll
special.
be
I-
Put an eye out?
yeah.
It's not often that a mother of 3 little boys feels special. So, I'm fine
Wait,
with that.
you don't.
Okay,
Do you have champagne glasses?
I have some glasses
Or
on
just,
the
you
counter.
know what? We can just do regular. Like I'm
I
not
got some
fancy.
glasses on the counter. Yeah, I got
guys
some.
should know that by
I
Like a
now.
water
kind of.
glass or something?
I got some.
Twist
I
the
got some
bottle.
actual.
I was told that. this
He's
year.
learned.
Okay, the reason
Oh.
while we're sipping
Yes.
a great straight rye whiskey,
A
I'm glad you like the
fabulous
whiskey.
lineup of alcohol.
And then you've got your fancy
I got it.
champagne.
Champs.
Yep.
You know,
And we also
champs drink champs.
champs drink champs.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Oh boy.
Thank you, John.
Wow.
Oh, look at that. We have glasses. This is the most glasses I've ever had on this table.
Wow.
You know what?
I feel
honest
like
to
I should
God,
be a monthly
I
guest.
swear to God, to you, I was thinking I probably should bring glasses because you.
No.
Seriously?
Yeah. Well,
Look,
I didn't
look,
know.
I understand.
No,
that,
the
wait, no,
bourbon-
You stop for a second. I understand that you come through the side door in the fall and the winter on a Wednesday afternoon, and you go downstairs into the
Yes, I
basement.
do.
You go directly downstairs,
do.
and there's an assortment of glasses
Yeah.
to pour whiskey in. But upstairs, we're a little more civilized.
Oh,
We
really?
have different glasses for different occasions.
Can't get this.
So yes,
You need-
I have something that you can actually pour
I gotta go.
some champagne or
It's a
wine
tough one.
into without question or doubt.
Well, I didn't.
And
know.
special glasses for your
Ooh,
for
there
your
you
whiskey
go.
tasting as well.
There
Thank
you
you,
go.
John.
Cheers.
Be sure that
This is so
the
great.
Do we
I
sing
feel
happy
s-
birthday?
I don't know what we-
No,
Yeah.
I'll take it.
All right, real quick. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to
No,
you.
it's got to be
Happy-
like, happy birthday.
No, no, no.
And we're not doing the
Two.
whole
No,
Marilyn.
it's
not
gonna
no,
happen.
No.
No.
This is.
In
Happy
fact, shouldn't it be in
birthday.
reverse anyway? Shouldn't somebody like, do
I
like
think
a
I should be the one. Yeah.
yeah? Should somebody do like a JFK impression instead of a Marilyn
Sure.
impression? You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
Happy birthday to
Sit on-
you.
Sit on my lap.
Happy birthday to you.
Well, here, happy birthday.
Oh,
Happy
thank
birthday.
you. Cheers.
Happy
Thanks, guys.
birthday.
This is
Happy
really,
birthday.
Cheers.
Happy birthday.
This is very. Have you had this? It's really good. It's really good.
I know you're going to tell us how old you're really going to be because yes, I will tell people.
Dude, rude.
Because not rude, not
no,
rude.
I share publicly.
Not rude. You
No.
share publicly,
I
so
do.
not rude.
It's not rude.
Not rude. And you got nothing to be ashamed of.
Well, I was born in '82.
Uh huh.
Let's do the math. We can do it.
37.
I'll be 37. Yeah.
37.
You know what's funny about that?
Weird.
What? What's funny about 37?
We'll tell you what's funny
Tell
about
me, because
being
I'm not
born in-
laughing.
being born in 1982.
Oh.
What?
That's the year my daughter was born.
Oh.
You could be my daughter.
You could be my daughter. No, I don't think
Yeah.
so.
Should I cover up
I'm
and
gonna
maybe,
have to
like,
pour.
I don't know if you should have went there.
No, I'm
No.
the math is you can't.
I mean, you can't
Math
deny
doesn't
it.
lie.
It doesn't
math
lie.
doesn't lie.
Right.
Math is math. It, doesn't
it
lie.
really is.
So yeah, I never thought about that.
This is
before.
good.
Yeah,
I'm
that's a
changing the
good.
subject.
That's a nice change.
It's all very good.
Thank
This
you,
is
Dino.
wonderful.
Okay.
Okay.
So you have is it strong mom or strong moms?
Strong moms.
Strong moms plural.
Yes.
.us
US.
is the website.
Yep.
But on social media, it pretty much just flashes out there as strong,
Strong moms with 2 underscores at
with
the end.
2 underscores
Yep.
at the end.
But we pop up pretty quickly if you look.
And what does strong moms do? What is it? What is strong moms all about as
That's a
far as the
great
website?
question.
Because
So-
and does it relate to what you're doing for our friend Gus?
Yes.
Okay.
So
But I'm not a mom.
you're not a mom, but we all need a mom. And I think we can all speak to, I mean, we'll touch on this with your mom. We can touch on this with my mother. Sounds like your mother as well. We come
Mother,
from
grandmother,
ethnic backgrounds here.
aunts.
Jewish background, Greek, Jew, Italian. There's a joke in there somewhere, I'm sure. But
Greek, Jew, and
A Greek that
Italian.
went to a bar.
walk into a
Walk into a
bar.
whiskey podcast,
Yeah. So
and the host finds out that it's his daughter.
well, so Strong Moms came about because I fell in love with nutrition and fitness as a bodybuilder, believe it or not. I know I don't look like it. I was in the natural bodybuilding sector, did well, and I was looking for something. I was a new mom. I did this so that I could get my body back. I was getting ready to turn 30, and I had my first child, and I'm going, okay, like I'm going to find something that's for me. And here I am in a really lonely place, really dark place, with a child that I didn't know at the time had autism, alone. My husband works very long hours. I don't have family that is able to jump in and support me. And I was looking for something. I was looking for identity. And I found that in bodybuilding. And that really segued into this concept of helping women, which has grown, obviously, because Gus is clearly not a woman. Clearly. Or a really ugly one.
Likes women.
He likes women, so there's a connection there. But it
He's got a lot of estrogen in him.
I don't know.
As
any
do
of-
I.
I have not
as,
seen his
As
labs.
do I. No, as we get older, men
It changes, it shifts,
get
and
more
we can
estrogen.
talk about that,
We get more
yeah.
estrogen. That's fine. That's
Well,
it wasn't a
so-
slam. It's
so-
it's a fact.
It is. So what happens?
I'll write that down.
What happened
Write
with
that down.
with the process was, and I'll try to make this as quick as possible, but I knew that there were more women like me who needed to be mommed and cared about. And there was freedom in this program because, as Gus has learned, it isn't about restriction. It isn't about what you can't have. It's about what you can have and living flexibly and really understanding food and how it affects your body and making choices that are in line with your goals. So that grew really quickly. And when I started, I had a 3-year-old and a 6-month-old.
And how long ago did you start this?
So this was 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
Because there's been, an increasingly large focus on women
Yeah.
in the last handful of years.
Yeah.
Some of it for the wrong reasons, but
Sure,
good reasons.
sure.
But good reasons that
Yeah.
allow this. But at the same time, that that force has seemed to have continued to grow and prosper. What concerns me is,
Yeah.
is that there have been movements like that in past decades before you were born in the
yeah,
60s and
yeah.
the 70s, and they all seem to become this movement. We rise up, and
Right.
then they fade back down again.
Well, so it isn't about rising up, okay? And that's the difference between what Strong Moms is, and you see, and really this movement, I like to refer to it as the boss bitch movement, because there's this need from women to be in charge and be the best and be, basically be men. We're not men. I don't want to be a man. I love men, okay? Everybody's got their place and they should all do their thing, and we are not going to talk politics. But that said, we have lost what it really takes to grow a family and support a family. And when you have one child?
I have a daughter.
Okay. And those early days are hard and they're dark and they're long. And you don't think that they're ever going to be 37, but then all of a sudden they are, and that's a whole nother story. But how do you help support these people? You don't have a village anymore. You're supposed to work like you don't have kids and mother like you don't work. And you're supposed to be a sex kitten, and you're supposed to be super mom, and you're supposed to be a Pinterest mom, and you're supposed to do all of these different things, and the stress that comes with it. And we talk about postpartum depression, which bleeds into so many other areas, and just this lack of support for women during the process. But this has really grown. It basically, we started about 6 months in. I had said to my husband, I'm like, I'm only going to take as many clients as I can while also being a mother and running our home. Ha, 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 ha. So I had to add coaches. Now we have 7 locations and roughly 200 to 300 active clients at any time. And we work with women. We work with men, teenagers, the elderly, everyone.
You work with my daughter in
we work with everybody.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
She's in Pennsylvania, but she gets her...
Yeah.
She's on the
Well,
program.
we have clients in Saudi Arabia. We have clients literally all over the world. But it grew into really helping people where they are at. So you've got someone like Gus he's clearly not a mom, but he's lost his mom, right? And he's been a parent, and he needs, when we think of what a mother really stands for, she's the one who shows up and kicks your ass, man. A good mom, anyways, supports you, loves you, and maybe threatens you to get your shit together.
Or screws with your head.
As I mentioned.
Pushes all the buttons.
Which makes it a comfortable segue
Yeah.
into our good friend Gus Flichia. I met Gus when I joined the Columbus Italian Club. One of those friendships that just became immediate and has
It always has been.
And has lasted through the 15 plus years that I've been at the club. I feel closer to him now as a friend than I did from the get-go. It's a good thing. And the one thing, we've always talked candidly about a lot of things in our lives. Personally, it's things that we don't have to actually share tonight, but one of the things that we've talked about was weight.
Yes.
I admire you so much because I know from the stories you told me, from where you came and what you did. You
very blue.
Very blue collar. Your father did what for a living?
He had just a little produce.
Produce thing. And your mom, she was a stay-at-home mom,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Raised a family, cooked,
Rosie.
cleaned, raised the kids magnificently. You get out of high school, you go to Vietnam,
Yes.
right? You joined the Navy?
Yes,
the
Navy.
You were in the Navy. You were in Vietnam. You come home, and did what when you got back?
I went back to work for Ontario's, and then
Department store.
No, it's a grocery store.
Grocery store.
And then went to work for Remarks Food Distributing. Drove a truck, and made a decision to myself. I did not want to do that anymore.
Did not want to do what?
Drive a truck.
Drive a truck or work for somebody?
No, back at that time, it was like, how can I get there? I pulled into Brookside Country Club, and I saw this guy and pulled in a brand new Mercedes SL. And I'm driving this truck, and how can I get there? I want to get there. And there was some guys on the tee box, and they had an 11:15 tee time, and I was going, how can I get there? I want to get there, and I'm driving the truck. So I put things in gear, and I made a decision that I was going to do that. And then one day I had a 11:30 tee time at Riviera Country Club. I was driving my brand new Jaguar convertible, and I go, wow, I got here.
You got there.
And I was at the airport, and I saw NetJets across the runway. And I go, how can I get over there? I want to get over there. So I guess, I've always put my mind to what I want to do. And I've accomplished these goals, these big goals. I've been able to say, I want to get to here. Not there, here.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got there. But when it came to weight, I just, for some reason, just couldn't get there.
So why? And that's the reason. One of the reasons that you're here. We're going to talk about a lot of things, but the fact that Ashley, with her program, is helping you lose the weight. But my question to you is, you seem to me to over the years have had a sound foundation to go from I'm here. How do I get there? So why haven't the same principles that have proven so successful in your life? Because I'm going to flash forward a little bit.
Sure.
You eventually you worked for a cigarette company, and you
Right.
then you what was it, you got fired? Or
No,
got-
I bought a
you got
distributor.
but
Yes, I got
you
fired.
got fired, and then you had a choice to make.
Yeah.
And you struck out on your own, and you turned that into
Right.
I don't use the term loosely, but you turned it into a Columbus Empire. You pretty much
Yes,
ruled
I
the
did.
roost.
I was very fortunate.
And you just recently sold it.
Yes.
And you are now a retired man.
Yes.
A man of means.
Yes.
You could do and go wherever you want. You can go from here to there.
No.
No, you can. You can go from here to there, wherever there may be, whenever you choose to. For the most part. At least that's the perception. And in our world, perception is reality. So my question is, and if you don't have an answer, that's fine, because maybe that's why we're talking tonight.
Sure.
Why did those same principles of going from here to there not work with weight loss?
Well, it's an excellent question. I spent a lot of money. I went to down to Duke Diet Center for 2 weeks, 14 days, staying there at the Duke Fitness Center.
And I remember when you came back.
Yeah, I was great, and everything was good until about another 10, 11, 12, 14 days.
It didn't
and
last.
It didn't last. I've done the no-carb thing where, it was great. And I'd lose 30, 40 pounds.
Sure.
But once you got back on carbs, well, I'm back to my weight. And it's really disgusting, and you feel like I'm such a loser, but then you're not. You've been very successful. So in being successful, I think, how can I do it? So what I have to do is I have to put myself out there. I have to put myself out in the public, where everybody sees you. And that's where Ashley came in, where she said, okay, we're going to do this Losing with Gus, and you're going to be out there. And let me tell you, when I open up the refrigerator door, I feel like there's 19,000 people watching. Honest to God.
What do you
what is he
thinking?
getting? What is he going to get?
Ain't nothing in here for you. Close the door. You're letting out all the cold.
Yeah, what's he going to get?
Yeah. So you started this program with Ashley.
Yes.
And you aptly named it Losing
with
with Gus.
Yes.
And what we're losing with Gus is the weight. Now, this is proven. I've seen the videos.
Yes.
They're great, by the way.
Thank you.
Very well done. Very well done. They're great. They're effective. They're honest. They're sincere. Yeah.
That's what we've got to offer,
Well,
so.
I mean, and more importantly, they're relatable. I mean, Gus is bigger than me, but I technically, in the world of weight, I medically am obese. I am. I'm 6 foot tall. I'm 245 pounds. I'm obese, right?
You are.
Say it.
You
say
are.
it.
Yeah.
I could stand to lose. How much weight would I have to lose in order to be?
You're 6 feet.
I am.
Yeah, yeah.
I am.
Okay. You realistically, you should probably. I don't know.
What? Yeah.
I don't
See,
know.
well, you know, but it's
Like,
my
are you
lack of
standing on your money,
It's
or-
it's my lack of self-esteem
Okay,
that makes
no,
me
so-
look like I'm 5'11". Actually, I was 6'1". I've actually shrunk an inch. So,
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I used to be
you're a
6'1".
tall Greek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am. I'm on the side of the family.
So, I mean, realistically, you're 60.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be like 170,
No,
180.
not happening.
Ain't gonna happen.
Not happening. Not happening.
Not when we order
Are
pizzas.
we, but hey, you asked.
No. I'm
Right,
saying, and
like-
I knew the answer was right in that
Right.
in that ballpark.
I mean, that would be very lean.
That would be sickly.
Yeah.
If I went down to
I don't know. You look pretty
175
good.
pounds,
You look pretty good.
no, people would think I was dying. People would think
Well,
I
if
was
you're
dying.
lifting, right? If you're lifting weights, and put some
175
size
pounds,
on,
people
right?
would think I had cancer.
I don't
God
know.
forbid.
I know. God forbid.
But no, I want to get. If I get down to 200,
200. Yeah.
I
That would
could-
be gold.
Anything, and honestly, in my what I call my adult years, from about
Let me
35
ask you
on,
a question. If
anything
you got
less-
down to 200, how would you feel mentally?
I've been down to 200.
and how did you feel?
I felt really good.
And how did you get back?
Huh? Because I just, it's one of those things that you think that I'm not going back to 240. I've been there, done that, and you start to slide.
You
and you start,
relax.
You
Well,
relax.
see,
you
Ashley
take
and I have
it
been
easy.
together for what, 4 months now? And the first 2 months, everything was fantastic. I'm walking, I feel great, and I was just walking for 1 mile, and then I went to 2 miles, and I went to 2.5 miles, and I come home and I feel really great, and then all of a sudden I get to the third and a half month, and it just doesn't, okay, I'll go
It's
out
not
there.
exciting anymore.
It's not
And
exciting
that's
anymore.
a very normal thing to see in this
plateau.
process.
Yes.
It's not really a plateau. People lose. Everybody thinks that motivation is what keeps you going, and it isn't. Motivation fails you every single time.
Well, that's not very encouraging.
Well,
No,
it's
I
honest.
disagree with that.
No, this is a fact. This is proven.
Motivation. Say that again.
Motivation will fail you every single
Well, you told me
time.
if I didn't lose weight, you'd kick my ass.
That's fear.
Oh, is that what
That's
that is?
fear.
That's not
That's
motivation?
different. So no, and I said I'd kill you. There's a
Oh,
difference.
that's right.
So no, here's the difference. What we have to do to stay in it long term, because what we're really doing is long term success. We're not looking at losing weight and gaining it back. That's why it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, is because everybody wants to give you just enough so that you lose weight and then you gain it back and you got to pay them again. I don't want my clients to pay me again. I want you to pay me once, lose the weight, have everything you need, and tell me 10 years from now that you've kept it off.
You want to be one and done with them.
That's it. Yeah, I want to educate you so that you are your own nutritionist.
Well, I will say this. I've been on every single diet out there. Everyone.
You done Atkins?
I've done Atkins.
He's done
I've
Atkins.
done them
Everyone
all.
has.
Low
I
carb,
went to
no carb.
I got the money. I went to Duke.
Yeah, that's
Spent a big dollar down there, and
And like I said, you came back from Duke. You
Oh,
were
I was
pretty
pumped.
excited.
I told
pretty
you,
excited,
you were shining. You were
I was
bright.
pumped.
You were
I remember
positive.
this.
You were
so what happened? Why?
I don't
Well,
know.
so-
You tell me.
So here's what happens. You have to come to grips. So weight loss is really not about the food. It never is about the food. It's about the relationship with food.
I love.
we have a
Okay.
very close relationship.
Oh,
with
yes.
food.
And most of
yeah.
us do, right? And food should have an emotional response, right? It releases positive hormones. I mean, it's the same hormones that are released in your body as, when you use heroin. I mean, that's a real feeling. It's the same, you
Or
can't
so
be
I've
horny. You can't be horny and hungry at the same time.
Oh, I beg to differ.
But realistically, it's the same
I
physiological
agree.
response.
I agree.
I beg to differ.
Anyway, but
if not at the same time, they're very, very close.
it's the same feeling, okay? It's this urge, this desire, right? And you get the same response when you eat a meal that is, oh, wow, you take that first bite, or it's that sip of champagne, it's that cup of coffee in the morning. If you guys really love coffee, oh, man, it like enters your soul, right?
Right.
So what you have to do is work with a coach who really understands that this is a psychological shift, okay? And that's where we really differ. I mean, we have 2 PhDs on staff and clinical marriage and family therapists who help us and have helped us to create our program, because what we know is that there are systems in place that we bring from our childhood, okay? And you guys will totally get this. So if you can imagine a beach house up on stilts, right?
Okay.
Each of us in our family is a stilt. It helps us to function in our family the way that we, like how our family functions. Well, when you become an adult, you leave your family as your stilt and you go build your own house. And you have this need to continue to be the person that you were functioning in those systems within your family.
Because you took a stilt.
Because you're a stilt, right?
But you take a stilt.
But if you can step back,
have you weakened the foundation by taking your stilt away from the family?
Possibly, but that's not your
Or at least are you thinking that?
But here's where the ethnic guilt comes in, right? Because you feel responsible, right, for your family and the function of your family, but you are not responsible for those people. As
let
an
me say
adult,
this.
well, hold on, we're almost there, and then you can pop in.
All right.
So, as an adult, and this is about food, I promise, you take that foundation and you create your own family, your own life, and if you can work also with a great therapist who I can recommend if you're in Columbus, I have some great therapists that I can send you to help you work through these things. And you build your own framework, right? And your own beliefs and your own values, so that when it comes to food and how you function with it and how you relate to your family and how you raise your kids and how they relate to
You
food.
talk about raising kids. When I was a child, okay,
Yes.
there was my sister Rosemary. My
Yeah.
sister Rosemary, mom and dad. And we'd have dinner, okay? And Rosemary sat at that end of the table. Dad was here, mom was there. And mom would fix pork chops. We had our pork chops, but we always had 4, 5, 6 pork chops left over, okay? Mom always cooked for
Mass quantities. Yeah.
and
Same
then she
in
would
my
take
family.
the pork chops and put them on the stove, right on the top of the stove, and put a little towel over them.
Sure.
In case we got
Hungry.
hungry
Yeah.
later on.
Right.
You know, there was something. It was always around food.
So what you have to understand, she grew up during a time and she was raised by people. So these are systems that she doesn't know any better, right? That she brought from her childhood. And this
Oh
gets
God! You wouldn't
passed
believe how
down.
many times I heard
Of
here. What you don't like
poverty.
that? Eat this. Eat that. Eat that. Oh, you're getting so fat.
Well,
you know what I mean?
we'll touch on that in a minute. So, but you know, you guys are kids of kids that grew up during the Depression.
Right.
Okay. Can you imagine the fear that goes into a mother's heart and mind as she's raising a family when she has only known poverty and hunger? It's important more than anything for her kitchen to be full of food. She is okay.
So what do you
That's
think,
how
Dino?
she functions. It's how my mom is. She grew up. My mom raised herself from 13 on, and she has her own eating disorder. She's tiny. I've never seen my mom.
She's tiny.
Tiny.
Were you ever fat?
No.
Never.
Well, I mean, I've had to lose weight because I've gained 45 pounds with 3 kids. Kind of
Okay,
thing,
all
but yeah.
right. You know, all right.
No, I've always
that's a pass.
But
Wow.
Yeah.
but however, I grew up with a mom who was a prima ballerina, okay, eating disorder. She had a crazy childhood, and you have to look at all of this stuff. If you don't back up and look and say, "Holy crap, it is not my fault that I interact with food this way." I'm super lucky. I grew up, my favorite food as a kid, I'm not kidding you, and I don't say this to boast, was salad. My mom made great food. A Jewish mother. My godmother's Greek. I grew up eating really good food. We didn't have money there was no alcohol because we couldn't afford it. There was no eating out because we couldn't afford it. But I grew up eating really, really, really good food, and we had a garden, and that was just the lifestyle. But and we live in Ohio now, where that isn't the norm. I grew up in the South, and it was a different situation altogether. But you have to understand that people bring in these systems, right, and framework into your life, and they're not doing it to hurt you. Your mothers love you, but they can't step back and recognize
Yes, our
it.
mothers loved us. Okay, and so all right.
But that's why you're so messed up, is because your
because they loved us.
Yes.
Because they loved us. I mean, Gus made a good point. His mother would make pork chops. There'd be
Yeah.
extra pork chops, and then she would leave them on the stove in case we got hungry later.
Yeah.
But then, as that behavior probably continued her entire life, that's probably how she cooked her
That was
entire
her
life.
love.
Yes.
That was her love.
Yes.
Her
But at
love.
the same time, isn't it interesting that the same love comes back to smack us in the ass when they say, Gussie or my mom.
You're not hungry?
No,
Oh, you're
Gus.
gonna break my heart.
No, not you're not hungry. When are you going to lose some weight?
Oh,
when over the
oh,
years,
yeah.
Mom, you actually conditioned
this to me.
You
Right.
did this to me, and now they sit back and look at you and go,
wow.
You're
a grown-up now.
you're-
You need
yeah.
to have some
Well,
self-control.
You're going to blame me? You're going to blame me?
So this-
Your
so-
mother who fed you and
You have
cared
to-
for you? And that weighs on us.
Right.
Because we don't want to blame them.
No.
I mean, at some point, Gus is all about accountability. No, you are.
I have been,
You
yes.
have been. We're all about accountability. We know at the end of the day, the reason that he hasn't able to go from here to there in respects to weight loss, ultimately, is him. And ultimately, it's me.
Yeah.
I make a conscious decision not to go to the gym. I make a conscious decision to make a bad bologna sandwich. I make a conscious decision to be on Weight Watchers this week, but not next week. I make those decisions myself.
Yes.
And while I can go back and say, it's also because of this, that, and the other thing. Yeah, those things play into what we talked about in the beginning of the podcast in respects to self-esteem, in respects to having this inferiority complex of some sort. But I've never been a big guy until I got into my probably, I think right when I joined the Italian club.
Oh, okay. Well, so now
how
we
do you feel
pinpointed
about
the
being
problem.
a big guy? Do you
Right.
think you're a big guy?
I think I'm a big guy.
Okay, let me tell you what happened to me.
I don't think I'm a huge guy.
Let me tell you what happened to me last year. I go on an airplane
Yeah.
and the seatbelt, and I'm going, oh shit.
You need the expander?
No, but I'm close.
Close.
You're close.
And I'm going, I got to do something. And it just really hit me. God damn, I got to do something. I really do. I mean, I had it all the way out to the end. I put it in, and it hooked. But, I mean, if not, I'm going to need an extension. How am I going to feel then? You've been so successful in all the things you've done. Why can't you be this? To quit smoking, in my opinion, is easy. The reason why I say that is because it's 100% abstain. You say, I'm going to quit today.
You
and
can't
quit.
abstain from food.
You can't abstain from food. You've got to eat. You have to eat. And then how much do I eat? Do I eat this much? And do I take the wrapper and put it down the bottom of the trash can so nobody will see it,
Yeah.
And when you live alone and nobody's there to monitor what you eat, it's tough. It really is. Mm-hmm. Now, my sister is just the opposite.
Right.
She's just the opposite. And
isn't that interesting?
yes, my mom raised 2 kids with eating disorders.
That went each one went the different direction.
Yes.
It's the same thing, though.
But the root cause is the
It's
same.
the exact same
And what is
thing.
the root cause in your opinion?
It's the framework
The framework of being
of the
what?
family. It's food is love, right? So your sister
Rosemary.
is terrified of food.
God, I love her.
She's
We've been the closest we've
terrified
ever
of
been.
food.
Yeah.
How does she cook for her family?
Well, let me just tell you about Thanksgiving. I mean, Thanksgiving, it's like she holds the baby when everybody's eating, and then she gets the salad and she pushes.
But she
it
cooks, right?
Yeah, she cooks, but she just doesn't.
She doesn't eat.
No, she
No.
doesn't eat, and like I mentioned, since my mom passed away, we can't be any closer.
Yeah.
We've just been really, really.
With your mom
close.
passing away, do you think that brought you two closer since your mom
Oh
passed?
God, yes.
And why do you think that
Yes.
is? Do you talk about your mom?
Oh, all the time, all the time.
And are the things you talk about with your in respects to your mom? Are there things that you talked about while your mom was living?
You know, it's kind of funny, Dino. We talk about her in a negative way and so much in a positive way. And I mean that. What I mean by that is how she could push our buttons.
Right.
I'd go over there and cut her grass, and I have somebody cut my grass, and you didn't double cut.
That's my favorite expression.
Oh, I mean, I'm gonna have a tattoo of that. If I ever got a tattoo, you didn't double cut.
You didn't double
And
cut.
don't worry about it. I'll have John from down the street.
Right? And
You
all
know,
of a sudden,
and I'm
John-
talking about, pushing the buttons. And God love her. I mean, you know, she's been gone since 3 or 4 months.
And she
4 months.
lived a long. How old was your mother when she passed
She
away?
was 95.
95 years old. God
95
bless.
years old.
Yeah.
God
And-
bless her.
And strong and mighty right up to the
Right up to the last
right
day.
up to the last day.
Right up to the last day.
I mean, her last
Yeah.
days were. When I say she had last days, she literally had last.
Oh
days.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, a month prior to the last days,
Yeah.
she might have been outside
Yeah.
trying to.
Well, you know, at
concrete
poker, how
the
many
porch
times
and-
did-
yeah, I mean, yeah, she was crazy.
We
crazy,
talked-
crazy.
Yeah,
Kathy.
we always knew about
Yeah.
Rosie and
Yeah,
what
Rosie
she was doing.
amazing.
Yeah.
You would shoot videos of her, you know,
Cleaning the street.
Yeah, she cleaned the street and patching up the
Yeah,
concrete.
yeah.
Doing with her by
Oh.
herself, and an amazing woman.
Yeah,
An
you
ama-
didn't double cut.
But you
You didn't double cut.
You
But
didn't
here's the
double
thing: we
cut.
could have a fantastic 3.5 hours at our house on a Sunday, and just as I'm walking out the door, you need to lose some weight.
It only takes that one
Oh.
little thing.
It just ruined the whole freaking
Could you
day.
not have gone the whole
Really,
day
Rosie?
without saying that one last thing?
Don't you think I know that I need to
But
lose
don't
weight?
you also? Didn't you also all those Sundays on some level, unconsciously or consciously, kind of you were waiting for it, and if you didn't get it, maybe you had a sigh of relief.
No.
But did you
No.
not think for a second as you
No.
were going out the house like, it's got
No, Rosie never had a problem with weight. She really
never
didn't.
problem. No, but as far as her saying it, were you expecting it every time you were over there? Was the expectation that it was going to be said?
No, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
I swear to God,
Yeah.
I would not eat anything, but on my way home, I'd stop at McDonald's and
Yeah.
grab a sandwich. Because let me tell you something.
You didn't want this.
You want to hear it?
Yeah,
wanna hear it.
I didn't want to hear it. And on my way home, I pull in the drive-thru. I'll show you.
So if you're over there and you don't eat anything, and then she still said it on the way out, like, God damn it! I didn't eat anything over there. I didn't have a third or fourth piece of bread, a second serving of pasta. I didn't have nothing, and she still said it. And now
God
what?
bless
So
her.
Now
I-
comes the punishment.
There's no.
What?
No,
No,
there's no
the-
punishment. So
It
I
is
want-
punishment. If he goes to McDonald's
okay.
afterwards and
Here's a question. What? And I
Can
want.
I have some more of that?
I want an
it's your
immediate.
bottle. You can have whatever you want.
No, it's your butter after
No,
me.
no.
I want
Soak
an
it up.
immediate answer.
Sure.
Don't think about it. Okay. How old do you feel?
Me?
A lot younger than I am.
No, that's not. Give me a number, guys. How old do you guys feel?
I'm 60. I just turned 60.
I didn't
honestly-
ask how old you
No,
are.
I'm telling. I'm telling you.
Hey.
I'm getting ready. It's a full, complete answer.
Okay.
I feel 50.
Okay.
35.
35 to you, really, John?
35. I'm only, yeah.
How old are you?
I'm almost 55.
God, you look a lot older than that.
Gus, how old do you feel?
How old do I feel? Honest to God, I think I
25?
feel. No, I feel like I'm in my late 50s or early 60s. I mean, you know, I don't. Next year, I'm going to be freaking 70.
I know, and when
I can't fucking believe that.
And-
Are
and
we
that
allowed to
goes-
say fuck?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Oh!
And then when you but when I say I feel 50, when I was 50 though, I didn't feel 50. I felt
Right.
like I was 40. So
Okay. So the reason I ask that.
so split it.
So
Okay.
we got
45.
There's a point. There's a point here.
And you're 37.
Not-
Do you know what
I'm not
37 is?
37 yet.
Well, you'll be
okay?
there in a
So
couple
no,
days.
the reason I ask is because one of the things that gave me a lot of clarity when I became a mother was, and I was hurt and disappointed that I didn't have grandmothers there, which I expected. That's another story for another day. Was that I realized that my parents are just kids figuring it out. And I think we all are.
I was 22 when I had my kid.
You're a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you still are. I mean, and you're like, most days I need a babysitter to make sure I get home on time. Realistically speaking, I could act like a complete asshole.
Well, my two
and-
daughters make decisions. One's 52 and one's 40. And I'm going, wow. And then I'm thinking, wow, they're adults.
But they're not. We're all just trying to figure it out, right? So here you are. Here we are. There are poor mothers, right? And I know my kids will probably be in therapy. There's no question because
Don't say
I'm
that.
their mother. Hello.
Well, yeah, they probably will.
Yeah. So that said, you have to look at the situation and go, you know what? They didn't grow up during this enlightened period where you're super woke, like where we are right now with all of the millennials and everybody's sensitive. But we grew up during this time
What do you think,
where
John?
Everybody is sensitive.
Yeah,
everybody's
yeah.
woke. I'm woke, and I'm concerned
So
about
tell me
everybody's
what
feelings.
woke is.
Woke is like, just being sensitive to all of the things.
You're very
sure.
aware.
Oh, yeah?
Oh.
That's
Very
what woke
aware.
is?
Not
Your
only,
eyes
not
are
only are you aware.
open.
Oh, there's one thing. It's one thing to be aware, but it's another thing to care and be aware.
Oh.
And that's when you're woke.
Woke.
Oh, no, I'm really fucked up.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but we didn't grow up with that. We grew up with parents who, and I believe that my parents, I mean, despite the fact that I'm your kid's age, I grew up with parents who did the same thing. I mean, they might be a little more woke than their parents, but there was this sense of, you get your ass up, you work hard, this is what you do, you're an immigrant, like this is the part of who we are, and don't complain and shut up and get your ass to work. That's what you do.
So how many questions you got there, Dino?
No, they're not questions. They're just
No, I mean,
They're points.
there's all kind of.
But we
scribblings here.
have to really kind of step back and forgive our moms for this stuff because they're not doing it intentionally.
I don't have to forgive my mother anything because I'm not holding her.
But we
At
are.
the end of the day, I'm not holding her responsible. I'm just trying to piece together some sort of path to try to figure things out. I'm not going to go back and her like, you fucked me up. I'm not going to say that to my mother.
No, never.
But she did for me.
No,
No,
but she
no, she didn't.
She didn't
She
mean
pushed
to.
all the right. No, she didn't mean
She
to.
didn't mean to. This wasn't my father.
All right, let me say something.
My
Don't say
father,
that.
on the other hand, he did some things on purpose. My
That's
mother,
different. Yeah.
all
We've
she
talked
did,
about that.
all she
Yeah.
did was try to be. She was a
Protect,
single mom
love.
in the '70s, and all she tried to do was survive
Yep.
and raise her kids to the best of her.
Yep.
So what are we talking about?
abilities.
Losing
That's what
weight.
Losing weight,
Okay.
Losing
which
weight.
all streams flow into the same river, which is the self-esteem I was talking about.
I've been
Which I have a
successful
really
at
good point on.
so many things. I really have
you what?
been successful at so many things.
You?
Yeah. Huge. Please. He's one of the most successful
Oh,
people I know.
totally.
I don't know a lot of successful people personally. I admire them from afar. People, wow, that guy. But somebody who's a friend, and Gus is a very dear friend of mine.
Sure.
I know how successful he is, and I know all the time and effort he's put into it, which is why when it comes to this, and because I love him and I care about him, I become baffled.
Right.
I'm like, no, that's Gus Flichia. He should have had this figured
But
out
see,
a long
being
time ago.
that's why I'm here doing the podcast, because it's accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where is he going to be a year from now? Where is it? Oh, you were doing so well. What happened? And you know what? You like I said, when I open up the refrigerator door, she has 19,000 followers. 19,000.
They're in the refrigerator?
Yeah, it's like when I open the door with her over my shoulder. What's he gonna pick? What's he gonna get? And it's
Well,
But isn't
but-
that refrigerator full of healthy choices now?
yes, it is.
It has changed.
So if you
Because
do go
if I
in
don't,
there,
she's gonna freaking kick my ass.
Okay.
Yeah.
I-
Power
ju-
stance.
But here, let me throw this at you.
Sure, throw it at me.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Hit me.
Oprah,
Oprah,
a billionaire.
a billionaire. She owns Weight Watchers now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she can't lose weight.
She's lost some weight.
But you would think that she would have somebody with her 24/7.
She probably does.
And saying, "Here, put this in your mouth.
Don't put that in your mouth.
Yeah.
Do this.
You
Don't
would
do that.
think that. I mean, she's a freaking billionaire.
and I'm so- go
But
ahead.
you know, if she was right here interviewing, why can't you lose weight, Oprah?
And I'm so glad you brought her up because, and I'm wondering if Oprah thinks this on some level as well. And you got all kind of things you can chime in. I know you're chomping on the bit. But I know you are, and I appreciate you. I appreciate
I can run my mouth.
letting us duke this out a little bit. We're not really duking.
Go for it.
But I like two questions for you.
What?
It's like, okay, you mentioned you're going to be how old?
I'll be 70 next year.
You're
70 next year.
69 and a half.
69
I
and a
can't
half. All right,
freaking
so,
believe it.
So at 70,
70.
a man who enjoys his life
Yes.
and has a good life.
Yes.
You have a great life.
I've been very blessed.
You have been very blessed,
Yes.
and you're very generous with your life. Without, I'm
He
speaking.
is.
You don't have to comment on it. This is me outside looking in. I'm saying it.
I believe in giving back.
Yes, you do. You're a generous man. There's no question about that. But when it comes to the weight, okay, all right, I'm gonna ask you this: why do you even care at this point?
You know why.
Why do you even care?
no,
What's it matter? Nobody's going to love you
And I
less.
tell- no,
Nobody's going to love
no,
you
you're
less
absolutely
or
right.
more
You're
at this
absolutely
point.
correct.
So what
But there's
the
no
hell does it
freaking
matter?
way I want to get on an airplane next to a lady for an extension, and it just doesn't feel. Since I've been with Ashley, okay, I had a bypass surgery like 8 years ago.
And why didn't things change after the bypass surgery? That was my second question.
I don't know. And then I had a
Don't
knee.
you?
Well, it should have. I mean, my heart. I felt my chest really pounding on a Saturday.
Right.
Sunday, we have a Super Bowl party, and I thought,
Right.
well, I got to get through the party, and it's not doing well. And then Monday, you and I had a poker
We had a
tournament,
poker tournament.
and I was winning. So I said, well, okay, well then Tuesday, I'll have lunch with Mary, and I'll tell her we need to go to Riverside Hospital, and she'll tell me why. And yes,
Boom.
boom.
My word.
I know that was
He probably should have gone
the
days
freaking stupid.
Yeah.
before.
But I
Yeah.
had all these obligations that I had to
Oh.
get taken care of
But you
before.
got it taken care of, and you got there in time.
Yes,
Obviously,
I did.
God had more
and my
plans for
sister
you.
took care of me, and boom, I had the greatest doctors and everything. Okay, so I did that. So we're talking about weight loss. So far, I was right at 22, 23 pounds lost. Well, that's not really a lot for a person that's my weight.
Got 100 pounds to lose.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really that. And she's on me, and it's great. And so all of a sudden I got to a plateau, and I'm thinking, oh God.
Which she doesn't like the word plateau.
I don't.
All right, we'll come back to
No,
that.
she doesn't like it, but I'm there, and it's going to happen. So then all of a sudden I thought, you know what? I need to restart it,
Commit.
commit, and that's where Duke let me down. Duke.
Did they let you down? But Duke, there was a
No.
finite beginning and ending to Duke. You were there for 2 weeks. So one of the
Right.
one of the more famous people that you ran across down there was Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh my God! And you know how long he was there?
He's
3 months.
He's a revolving door.
3
in that place.
months.
So he has the means to go back in there.
Francis, you can come my way.
He goes in and out as much as he wants to. And if you look at Francis Ford Coppola right now, he ain't no thinner.
No.
No.
Yeah.
So why is that?
So
why Oprah being a billionaire, she can't get there, and
My point is,
she's on TV all the time.
Okay, and maybe she's taking the small victories. Ashley, you can comment on this. She's not as big as she was.
Sure.
She's not as big as she was. She is healthier
Sure.
than she was.
So
are the small victories sometimes victory enough? Is 24 pounds? He's 24 pounds less.
He needs to lose more weight.
He needs to lose, but
yes,
it's 24.
but it's a strong
But
24.
It's a
and
strong,
let me tell you
24
about the
pounds
difference.
is a lot of weight for a man.
Let me
like
tell you
him.
about the difference between
And you're
strong
making a
24
face. You don't think
and
24
regular 4.
Yeah.
24.
If I lost 24 pounds right now, I'd be halfway to where I want to be.
If you're sick and all of a sudden you lose 11, 12, 13 pounds because you're sick, you're going to get it back. My 24 pounds that I've lost, I think is a strong 24 because I'm not going to go back. I really don't feel I'm going to go back. I feel that way. But the other thing, besides the 24 pounds, my heart, I'm walking 2.5 miles every day. I'm my knees, I have a replacement knee.
I remember.
Okay, and they were like this, and now all of a sudden they've gotten closer because of Ashley and these.
No, you're doing it.
I'm doing it, but it's
you're
because-
motivating.
You're
I'm
motivating.
not doing it. I'm not motivating.
You
no,
hate
no,
the
no,
word.
no, no, no.
I said that on
hate it.
purpose.
Oh,
I said that
hate
on
it.
purpose because you said you hate the word
So-
motivation. You hate the word plateau. So go ahead, Gus. Finish
No,
with
no,
it.
you're right.
But you hate
You're
the word
right.
motivation.
Go for
but you
it.
are motivating him. So if he feels that you're motivating him, what's the
Sure.
harm in that?
That's fine. I'm not against it, but we had this conversation probably a month ago. You have a buddy who was motivated by what you were doing, and he decided to hire a trainer,
Yes, he
and
did.
he's
You know
following
who
a
it is?
meal plan,
Jamie
and he's
Sanfilippo.
Yeah.
and he's losing weight. And
Our buddy Jamie.
Gus comes to me, and he's frustrated because he says, I got this buddy who's doing really great, and he's done it a month, and he's lost the same amount as me. And I said, what's he doing? And he goes, well, he's working out with a trainer every single day. He's following a meal plan. And I go, so you think he, went to Nemacolin and last weekend, and do you think that he is, and here he is, we're FaceTiming each other, and he's eating crab claws. He's eating crab claws. I just said, do you think he eats crab claws during the day? He goes, no. I go, the difference between what your buddy is doing and what you are doing, you are learning to eat for life. You can go into any situation, anywhere, without Tupperware. You can order off the menu. You can enjoy your time. You can go to Florida for 3 weeks and come back and not gain a pound the whole time you're there because you really understand nutrition.
I will say that. I mean, Mary and I went out to dinner last night, and we looked at the menu, and okay, what's on the menu? What's good? What can we eat? That's really going to be tasty, but not over the top.
below the budget,
Yeah,
right?
Not
Not below the
necessarily
budget.
indulgent. And there are some great things that you can be indulgent
Well,
with
and
as
it's
well.
learning how to order, right? And having somebody who can guide you through this process, right? Duke doesn't do that.
I think they do. I disagree with you. I think Duke, my 2 weeks at Duke was freaking awesome. Out of all the other TV things you see, you can lose weight, take this pill, whatever.
Sure.
Duke was awesome. The only problem with Duke, it was only 2 weeks.
Right.
And once I left,
And
there was nobody to.
You
make
Where-
sure
you
that
hung
he's-
on to it for a
I
while.
did.
You
I did.
And they
You
check
did.
in on you periodically.
Well, they do. They try to.
Right.
And then, but you can put them aside where I cannot put you aside.
I don't go anywhere.
No.
And that's the difference. What
Being-
we do.
being just 3.5
Oh, I'm a
3.5
I'm a
houses down
fungus.
from me.
Like I'm
You
herpes.
don't go.
That's it.
I wouldn't compare yourself to herpes.
It's fine. I'm okay with it. No, really.
No.
Let's
He's
find,
stuck
some-
with
let's,
me.
let's find something a little more
Oh,
pleasant that
it's
hangs
okay.
around.
You
That
know,
hangs around for
it's
life.
morbid,
Yeah.
right?
Here's the other
Yeah.
thing I need to talk about Ashley.
No.
The very first time when she says, okay, we're going to go to Giant Eagle and we're going to look at ingredients.
I remember that video.
You remember that? Mm-hmm. And I went, and I was thinking, oh, this is pretty cool. I get to go with Ashley to Giant Eagle, and we went in there.
My mother-in-law thinks the only reason he's losing weight is because I'm hot. By the way.
Yes.
Just want to.
That's true.
Okay.
That would be good.
But
That would be.
as I quoted
Little
before,
sidebar.
perception being reality. There's a lot of people that think that.
Sure, that's fine.
I'll have a drink on
I'm not
that.
I'm not
There's
above
a-
using my
there's
tits
a-
to get business. It's fine. I know how good I am at what I do. There's no problem.
Oh, Jesus.
I have
Mary
no
and Joseph.
problem with it. And without
So my
question-
motivation
yes.
is definitely there, right?
Yeah, right. But no, but that's
But
not.
no, let's get back to Ashley because it's all. It's really
Because it's
all
not about her
her.
tits.
No. So we
With all
we
due
walk in,
respect. Sorry.
we walk into Giant Eagle, and
Sorry.
and we walk in, and we spend like 20-30 minutes in the produce department. I've only spent like 3.5 minutes in the produce.
Yeah.
And so we go up to the salad area or the salad dressing area in the produce department, and she pulls out this. Okay, now what salad dressing do you use? And I go, well, it's 4 aisles over. It's the
It's
salad
not
dressing.
fresh, first of all.
Yeah. So all of a sudden I realize she's no nonsense. This isn't the
I don't fuck
Ashley
around.
that I.
The fun.
She's not. That's your next door neighbor, Ash.
No.
Comes over to your football
and a bikini.
parties.
Right.
And it blew me away. I mean, this is we're down to the nitty gritty. And so we went over to the salad dressing aisle, and we go, and she's got these two different. Okay, now here's the one,
Comparing them,
and we're looking at them going, oh my God, the difference is tremendous.
Have you-
You're reading the labels.
Finally.
Now, at 69 years old, okay, I'm finally reading the labels. Wow.
Well, and just
So-
coming to understand the concept of what calories are, and that food doesn't have morality. There is no good and bad food. All food. I've never seen a cookie, sent to prison for raping someone. Like, eat the cookie. It's not bad for you. just like have some balance in your life.
But don't eat the whole package of cookies.
You
Well,
know, I think that's the
sometimes
key.
you do,
Balance. Balance is the number one thing. It's not like being on a no carb diet where you have no carbs, you have no bread, nothing,
No.
and you drop 40 pounds.
Yeah, but
And you feel really
and then
good.
you breathe in at the bakery, and you're like,
boom, you
Right.
put
You're
it right
gone.
back on.
Yeah.
I did Atkins. I lost,
Yeah.
25, 30 pounds when I did Atkins back in the 90s. And as soon as I got back to any type of substantial
So,
carbohydrate.
Dino
Forget it.
Tripodis,
Yeah.
my motivation is at my age.
She hates the word motivation.
Well, I don't give a
it's
shit.
fine.
I don't
it's
care.
Fine. It's
All
fine.
right.
I don't care. My motivation is that I want to feel better, and I have. I've lost 24 pounds. I dropped another pound, and I believe they're strong pounds. The other thing is my knees are working better, my heart's working better, and I'm in a good place now. I'm still the big guy. When you walk up, hey, how you doing, big guy? I hate that. I hate that. I don't feel that I'm a big guy. But they go, hey, how you doing, big guy? I don't like it. But the number one thing is going on an airplane, and I'm thinking, wow.
I also watched some of the videos of you putting on suit jackets.
Oh, that was
that,
fun.
Wow.
That didn't fit.
And Ashley and I got in the back, and I go, I'm going to go way in the back. I know this won't. This vest never fit before.
And that's when I felt fat. When I started to go upstairs and
Yeah.
I saw suits that were in the closet, and I put them on, I go, these belong to some younger brother I don't know? Because they don't
Were there
fit me,
little
they don't fit me
minions
now.
coming in and
Yeah,
taking
like,
all
what-
of these in
what-
at night?
I
Right.
wore this?
Really?
When?
Yeah.
When
did I wear
When
this?
did I wear this?
It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
So
And that's normal. And it's kind of fun, actually, as a woman to see men experiencing this, because women have been experiencing this forever, right? Like, since we hit puberty, that's it. Like, we have been struggling with our weight and
my daughter
and body
struggles.
image.
My daughter
Right.
struggles with her weight and her body image, and
And
to the point where it concerns me.
Wow, you just said a word.
Absolutely.
Body image.
Body image.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
I went
strong.
so crazy
Body image.
with my daughter, who's in the entertainment business in New York City, is a
Oh.
singer-songwriter. All right, they saw
It's
her
hard.
perform, okay? They saw her perform. They loved her music, her original music. They loved her presence. And she got in with this group of people, to advance her career. But part of that was, and most of it was, which made me crazy, I said, do not sign this contract. They were concerned about her body image. My daughter is not fat,
No, she's not. I've seen her.
and yet they wanted her to be even thinner.
Yep.
Body image.
And they made her, she had to sign a contract that said she would go to the gym.
Yep.
And
And
they
weigh
had,
a certain amount.
and weigh a certain
yep.
amount at the end of the week. It was in a contract.
Yep. Oh,
And,
totally
if she
normal.
didn't meet those requirements,
That's it.
the contract was null and void. I
Yep.
go, do not sign this. I said, this isn't about your talent right now. That almost seems secondary. And
Sex
eventually the
sells.
deal fell through, not because she failed, because she went
Oh,
to the
yeah.
gym. And she held up her end of it. But the body image is so important right now.
It's so.
We see it on Instagram and on
Oh
Facebook.
man, and can we just give a round of applause, albeit very edited, to the Kardashians, because despite
round
the
of
just
applause
hang
to
on,
them?
hang on.
Yeah, I'm gonna say,
Despite
Wow,
there's
this is-
a
this is
point,
good.
there's
This
one
is
now.
gonna be
Despite
good.
the fact that
Yeah.
they are,
Looking forward to this
this is
spin.
going to be good.
despite the fact that they are not who God made them, right? Neither am I. They have created they've kind of brought us back to this whole pinup era of having a shape, and it's okay to have an ass and tits and like look like a woman again. I mean, because I grew up in the 90s, right? So where it was all about being skinny, waif, super like death, like Kate Moss. I mean, that was where it was at, right? So it's so nice to be accepting of my own body, and again, despite the fact that they are very edited,
I understand that.
by
I
certain,
understand that.
I do appreciate the fact that we have a better idea of what a woman should actually look like, and what a woman should look like is who God made her.
we're kind of running
Yeah.
out of time. We're gonna probably go a little longer, but
What do you got on your sheet there,
no,
Dino?
no, don't worry about my sheet.
Don't worry
say-
about
you
your
know,
sheet?
Yeah, don't worry about my sheet.
No,
You're
I
not
am
gonna-
worried about
you
it.
can't worry about this. You want to
No,
look at
I
this
am.
chicken
He's all
scratch
No.
stressed
here?
out
I'm
over
stressed
here.
out.
I told you.
I wanna-
You're in good hands.
All right.
You're in good hands.
You do take care of me, Dino.
I do take care of you. I would say, yeah.
No, he's my buddy.
He's my buddy. He's
We
my pal.
have things that are locked in a vault that'll never come out.
Oh.
Men have vaults. Women have vaults.
Yeah, we have vaults.
You have vaults.
We have vaults.
I want to come back to you because, all right, just for 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, because
Sure.
and this might be, I don't know if
Go
it's
for
gonna
it.
be, I
No,
don't
I'm
know if it's going to be
go
hard
for
or
it.
not.
Let's hear
I
it.
don't know if it's hard or not. You know, I've sat here and I've exposed my friend to a large degree. I've asked him about his mother and I've asked him about why he perplexes me with his failure on not being able to go from here to there in respects to his weight loss. I've been open. He's been open. He's been candid. He's been honest.
Sure.
And I love him for that. And I sit here and I listen to you and I've watched a lot of the things that you do. All right. But I'm curious, from where does that come from? Because you're very open on social media.
Totally.
Totally open on social media. So I'm kind of curious to get to the point where you are now, where you are helping people. And I applaud that.
Thanks.
I admire
Yeah,
that.
sure.
And I sincerely say thank you.
But like,
Because-
what's wrong with me? Why do I do that?
No, but what are your issues?
I have. Oh my gosh, where do we begin?
Where and
That's another show.
well, it could be another show. But what are your issues and how have they
Helped.
helped you to? How have you overcome them in order to be what you're doing and who you are right now?
That's a great question. So I am the child of a marriage and family therapist, and I'm really lucky to have the relationship that I have with my dad, and we're really honest with each other. I think we're good friends. I hope he listens to this. Dad, hi. He's 64, and my dad is always really kind of pushed back, and I like that.
When you say push back, what do you mean?
Well, he's always challenged.
Challenged you,
Yeah.
not motivated you.
No.
Challenged you.
Yeah, but I've always seen. Now, okay, keep in mind, I've chosen in my adult life. I'm on my second marriage. I got married really young. I've seen some. I was sexually molested by my best friend's brother for many, many years. I've got some stuff, like I got some trauma.
Have your
I got some
issues and
trauma.
have your trauma
Yeah.
shaped you, molded you,
Absolutely.
and made you stronger.
I will tell you.
But what can they also at any given point, because at any given point, and in his pursuit
Yeah.
to lose more weight at 69 years
Yeah.
of age, to get to a goal, there are a multitude of emotional and psychological things that could derail him at any given time
Yeah.
and make him a failure in that pursuit. I hope that doesn't happen. You're on a great path.
I won't let
But you
it.
know what I'm talking about,
Yes,
buddy.
I do.
You know
do.
what I'm saying. I speak
I do.
honestly and openly that there are things for both of us.
No, we love
that-
each other.
that-
Yeah.
There are holes that we can stick our foot in and go deep down into those
Right.
holes, and with the fear of not being able to come back out from them.
Right.
Do you ever worry and wonder that some of the same things that have shaped you, that have made you stronger,
are also a massive weakness.
can also be something that can take you
Your
back down
kryptonite?
again? Yeah.
Absolutely, of course. Yeah, I'm not. I in no way am I immune to, the difficulties of life. I'm clinically depressed. I deal with anxiety and depression. I talk very openly about that. I struggle with motherhood. I struggle with.
Where do you struggle with motherhood?
Oh man,
You don't think you're a good
suck
mom?
at being a mom.
Do you think so?
Man,
Do your
like,
kids think you're a sucky mom?
probably.
No, they don't. They probably
They
don't.
I've
I
been
mean, they're
around. I know
little,
they
you
don't.
My
know.
mother thought she was a bad mom because she was a single mom.
Well,
because she
we
couldn't
all
make her
we
marriage
all
work.
have our things, right? We all have our insecurities. I'm a crappy wife. I'm a crappy friend. Like, so here's the difference. I've spent a lot of time in therapy. I chose to go to therapy.
All right.
Therapy, in my opinion, is like the person who goes to the gym consistently, but it's for your head and for your heart. Like, you go to the gym for your body. You go to a therapist because, like, you want to work on the inside, right? And I have always, and it might be to credit my father and the fact that, I was never really punished. We'd sit down and talk. Crickets, right? Like, Can you imagine being a 16-year-old girl who's a fuck up and like, oh, now we're going to talk about it?
Were you a fuck up at 16?
Oh my God. I was student body president, but I was like boy crazy and drinking and sneaking into clubs, and I was doing I was packing life in as fast. Like I got married at 19. You know, like I've done some crazy things that I will not share publicly. But you have two opportunities, right? You can look at the shit in your life and go, woe is me, I am a victim, and I might as well give up. Or you can say, all right, well, I got bootstraps, I might as well just keep trudging forward.
You know what I think the bottom line is?
No, I don't. Tell me.
I think the bottom line is this. She's 37 years old. You're 60. I'm 69.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We have a lot of history. I have a lot more history than you do. And the pages of the book's been filled. They're all written in. And how many more
You have
years?
that book behind you right there, that one.
Oh,
Right
sure,
there.
yeah.
Go ahead, keep talking. Yeah.
And how many more years of history do we have? I mean, our good friend Joe DeSantis, God bless his
passed
soul, just passed, and he was 77 years old. So how many more of these years do we have where we talked about our poker group? There's only going to be two guys left in our poker group. And one's going to be Jamie Sanfilippo, who's in his 40s. And you know who the other one is? Go ahead and say it.
And Al Yannon, who's going to be 90.
He's going to be 90. Al Yannon is going to rock and roll. I mean, that's going to... But, we just buried one guy, and we've buried quite a few. And we're getting towards... I mean, we're in the fourth quarter of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
We really are. And
Do you remember what you felt and what you were thinking about life at 37?
I was rocking and rolling. You couldn't stop me. If I lost everything I had, I'd just make it up again.
Make you start all over
I'll
again.
start all over again.
know,
But right
yeah.
now, it's different.
And how do you feel now?
I
if
don't
you were
feel
to,
like that at all.
If you were to,
I do.
If you were to lose it all the things that
I mean,
you have.
obviously, you start back. You have to start.
But
back.
if you
that's at
were,
37.
If you were to lose it all tomorrow.
Oh fuck.
I know, right?
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
just you reacted.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and I'm glad you reacted like Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
don't
like,
even
I
think
can't
about
ima-
it.
I mean,
as
I've
opposed
got-
to I would be fine.
Oh no!
Yes.
Like it's.
But we were back in that age, like, hey,
Yes.
Oh,
whatever.
no,
rock and roll.
No. I mean, I know what it means to work hard. Like that's. Nobody,
Could you rebuild? Would you
course,
rebuild? Or would
must-
it destroy you?
You must rebuild, right? Like you have to rebuild. That's what you do. That's the immigrant in us, right? Like that's what we do.
You got to believe.
We believe. But I want to add, because it was
What?
one of the things that we've talked about so many times, what your sister said after your mom died.
What did she say? I'm sorry, I can't
You
remember.
know, we've had this conversation.
My-
She said
Yeah?
that if you die,
Oh, yeah.
what?
It would be harder for her if I died than my mom died.
Yeah.
And that would, yeah. She said that.
And when you start to really wrap your
Yeah.
heart around that
Yeah,
and
I
come
love
to
my
grips
sister.
with your values, that's where commitment comes in.
What you got, Dino?
Not motivation, but commitment.
Not motivation,
Commitment.
commitment.
Commitment. And
Is it-
that's the game changer.
As far as you're concerned, and how you change people's lives, it's
Absolutely.
the commitment, not the motivation.
Dino, thank you very much for having us on.
Are you wrapping up?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
wrapping up.
we got some more champagne.
no,
though. I'm empty
we're wrapping
here.
up. Thank you very much. No,
You don't get to wrap up.
I
my
don't
friend.
get to wrap
No,
up?
my
You're
friend.
the one that
I'm
gets wrapped
sorry,
up?
I'm sorry. While I know you like to have.
I know. I just
the
hit my.
controlling
I know.
hand.
I always do.
You like to have the hand.
It's your show.
It's
Did you
my
see what
show.
happened though?
Oh,
You saw that, right?
I
We got a little
absolutely did.
emotional.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And then he wraps it up
He wrapped it up.
Yeah.
Immediately. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a sailor.
Now, don't make me go like
No.
this.
No.
Okay?
You know what? I'm very close to my sister, and it sounds like over the course of the years,
I love
while
my
While
sister.
your mother was alive, that you had moments where you were estranged from
And then
your
we got
sister.
back together.
You got back together. I've
We can't-
never been estranged from my sister.
We
I
can't be any closer.
I can't imagine. My sister and I were a team. Growing
We
up,
can't
because
be
we're
any
the three of
closer.
us, a single mom and so I can't imagine ever being estranged from my
Right.
sister. So the fact that
I'm so fortunate.
That gets to you a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
And the fact that
everyone relies on him.
and the fact that you have, because you come across as, and it makes
Go
sense.
for it.
No, I'm not. This is not. You think I'm not
No,
attacking
it's okay.
you.
No, I don't
I'm
ever
not,
feel attacked.
I'm not attacking you at all. You picked strong moms for a reason.
Yeah.
All right? You've developed strength.
Yeah.
But the fact, when I asked you a question about vulnerabilities, the fact that you actually showed
Absolutely.
a vulnerable side,
Oh yeah.
because how you come across is no.
I'm open. You tell me.
You're very open. How you come across, you're very open, but you look invincible.
Oh, thanks.
And you look and people maybe need somebody like that to look invincible, but they also need to know that they're human as well, and that you. But like I said, you're very open. I'll go down a list. You grew up poor.
Yeah. Dirt,
Right.
like powdered milk poor.
Powder milk poor.
Yeah.
You started a business with your mom
Yep.
when you were 22. Was that successful or a failure?
No, completely successful.
Okay,
Still,
so
it's
self-made
still,
woman.
Yes.
From that point on,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And then you talk
Put my
about
way through college twice.
the thing that made me interesting about you, and I was very intrigued, is like you're a secret keeper. Anybody can tell you a secret and you'll keep it.
It's in the vault, man.
Right in the vault.
Yeah.
And yet you have, as you quote, wicked trust issues.
Oh,
And
I
I'm
don't trust
wondering,
anybody.
so how does one how is one a secret keeper and yet still have mad trust issues?
That's a good question. Wow. Wow. Who hasn't been hurt?
No,
right?
we've all been
We've all
hurt.
been hurt. And
I trust. I can count on my hand the amount of people I sincerely trust with anything I may say.
yeah.
Like he mentioned earlier the vault, and
Yeah,
you
the
mentioned the
vault.
vault too. He has things in the vault.
Oh, totally.
I have no fear of them
Yeah.
coming out of the vault. Not at all.
can we just
And
like
vice
give a
versa.
little bow to Seinfeld there?
Right. It's in the vault.
It's in the vault. So no, I it's one of those things that the trust is. I think we have a great we have our coaching relationship,
Right.
client relationship. We're neighbors,
Right.
but we have a friendship that's really, really special
That's
that I
so.
don't think many people would expect. But most of my very close friendships are like that. And it's the kind of thing that you just kind of step back and say, this person can handle these things, and you know a lot about me.
When I first approached Gus about having you guys on, here's the deal. I think what you're doing, first of all, selfishly, for my friend Gus, is amazing. You're making him healthier and better.
Well, I love him,
and I know you
mean,
do.
yeah.
I know you do. That's not even in question. That's not even in doubt. But the fact that you're helping him, making him healthier, keeping him around longer, the longer I keep this guy around,
My kids love
selfishly,
him.
the better for me.
Right.
But I also find what you're doing and what you're putting out on the social medias with Facebook and the videos, I think that it's inspiring. And I think it's extremely relatable. And I told Gus that immediately. There are so many people who are going to respond to this because there are so many people like him. Maybe they're not 69, maybe they're 59 and 60
Or
years
39.
of age.
It doesn't matter,
Whatever the
right.
case might be.
We're all
The
human.
struggle is the same.
Yeah.
The age doesn't matter.
Right.
So I applaud
Thank you.
everything that
Thank
you're doing.
you.
know?
Thank you.
But at the same time, when I had an opportunity to sit here and go down these rabbit holes with you,
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by people like you. I'm fascinated because
And the more you drink, the more interesting I get.
well, no, because there's different sides of different people.
Yeah.
I found out, even though you probably didn't realize it, buddy, just talking tonight, I
Yeah.
found out a couple more things about
What
you
was it? What?
that I didn't know. You know what? We don't need to share them on the podcast.
We'll put them in the vault.
Yeah, we'll put it. We'll talk about them after the fact. But we mentioned you 37 and you 69 and me 60, and I asked you to grab this book because I wrote this last year on my 59th birthday. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm gonna tell you some of the things that it was about. And I wrote, today is my birthday. I'm 59 years old. Or young, as the polite people say, and what's changed and what's stayed the same. I still have the wide-eyed dreams of a 19-year-old, still wondering what amazing things might be next at 59. I still have the doubt and uncertainty of a 29-year-old who was uncertain of his path and fearful that there still wasn't a clear one for him to take at 59. I have the confidence and bravado of the 39-year-old feeling invincible and convinced that life would be a smooth sail from here on in, and no matter what happens, I deal with it at 59. Then I have the return and the doubt and unspoken fear of the 49-year-old who expected life to be different by now and quietly wonders what might be next and wondering why he's feeling like he's 29 all over again. And at 59, I'm aware of the clock and how much time is actually left
The clock.
to be who I am, what I am,
The clock.
and who I may still come to be.
I love it.
The clock. Thank you, Dino.
That's wonderful.
My guests have been Gus Flichia, who is on his way
Ugh.
to making a dream come true, and
Yes. Yes, I am.
Ashley Barnhart from strongmoms.us
Yeah.
or underscore on social
Strong
media.
Moms 2 underscores.
Yeah.
Strong Moms do.
Who's doing a wonderful job, my
Yes,
friend
she
Gus.
is.
And also, you've got a lot of great followers. You're doing a lot of good.
Thanks.
A lot of doing good.
Thanks.
So you've taken all the things that have been
Ashley,
fucked up
thank
in
you.
your life and made them work
That's the
for
goal,
you.
right?
Right?
Yeah.
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 So,
Thank you.
I want to thank you both for being open,
Yes.
honest, candid. Happy birthday.
Thank you. 21.
yeah. No, 37.
Oh,
Every
shit.
bit.
Oh, my
Own it, girl.
God.
Own it.
37.
Own
There's a
it.
lot of Botox in this
37.
space.
As I said on the stand-up stage repeatedly, I have psychological issues older than you.
Aw, Great.
Own it and enjoy it.
Well, Dino, thanks for having us on.
Yeah, this is
No,
wonderful.
my pleasure. I also want to thank Gus for bringing the bottle of Whistlepig, our guest bottle, the Boss Hog. Boys, we've enjoyed this, have we not?
Yes.
Yeah, very much so.
Very good.
I want to thank Gus for bringing that. And seriously, buddy, this is a very
It's
nice
yours.
bottle. I don't want to keep it. Take
No,
it back
it's
home.
yours.
I'll drink it at your house, but whatever. We can argue about it later
All right, we'll
when we sit on the front porch. I want to toss it back over to Greg Hansberry to close out a couple of things and a couple of reminders for those of you who have stuck around to listen to all this. Remind them of the following.
Well, rate and review us, please.
Yes.
And thank you on your favorite podcasting app.
Yeah.
iTunes specifically, if you're an Apple geek like like most people. I'm in a little discussion with my brother-in-law who refuses to buy Apple products. I know, right?
You have issues? You should have come in and joined.
Oh,
You should have
man.
come in. The water's fine.
Buy a damn Apple phone. Everybody else in the world
Put
is
the fun
giving
in
in.
dysfunctional.
Rate and review us on those apps, please. We're on social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. A lot of great
Yes.
things. Whiskey Business with Dino Tripodis.
Thank you.
And I think that's about it.
And
Now,
don't forget the premise on October the 22nd on the upfront stage at Shadow Box Live. We'll do that. I personally, again, want to thank you both.
Thank you.
I hope that you share this with all your
Yeah,
strong
absolutely,
mom,
we
your
will.
strong mom people. I almost started to apologize, but I'm not going to apologize for
Oh.
anything. Yeah,
What are you apologizing
yeah,
I
I'm
don't
like,
know.
what
I don't
would
know
you
if
apologize
I,
for?
if I crossed a line,
No,
or
this
if I
was
went too
tame.
deep, if I went to
Totally.
Oh,
No, we can
okay,
dive
well,
real deep. We can
then
rip
maybe
real deep.
you and I should just do another podcast.
I think we could handle.
all by our lonesome here with the boys.
Oh,
and
yeah,
dig into some,
I think
go down
be surprised.
go down some other rabbit holes. Whiskey Business is a Never the Luck production, produced on the audio side by the wonderful Greg Hansberry, who was just talking to you, and amazingly also as well on the video side with YouTube by the great John Whitney. My
Yes.
guests have been Gus Flichia, Ashley Barnhart, the guest bottle, Whistlepig. My name is Dino Tripodis, and I love doing this podcast, people. I really do. When I get a chance to speak openly and honestly about stuff like this, I'm telling you what, it's the best thing ever.
You're good.
And so, thank you, buddy. And so, until the next bottle, see ya.